Hello, welcome back to Dave's podcast with the new name, Positivity for the Mind podcast. That is our name going forward, and I think it's pretty apt to what I would like to do for this channel. I want to try and spread good news in ways that I can through articles or just in general life things, so that's what I'm planning on doing. Today we have 3 articles for you. One is about Russia medical drop supplies for masks and such. One is about animals coming back to the wild that were previously close to extinct or kind of like just on the brink of dying. And then, of course, we have one here about brain activity that will help people that have locked-in syndrome patients. But we'll get to those in a minute. Today, I have Randall Mervine here with me today.
How's it going, guys?
And we're going to, go back and forth and go through these articles with you, and hopefully that'll help bring some positivity to your mind today. The first one, Randy, did you want to do that one, or do you want me to do this one?
We can just start. We can talk about the 3 good things that we heard about animals this past month.
Okay, sure. So, yeah, go ahead.
So, it looks like that blue whales, the world's largest animal, we were having issues with numbers for a long time. Numbers were down. We weren't seeing as many whales as we'd like. So they wanted to make a change to this. And some of it was from, like regular whaling, like people were just whaling in general, and then other for beliefs and stuff like that. But we kind of cut back on how much we were allowed to whale. And in the article that we are referring to on positive.news, a team of researchers led by the British Antarctic Survey made 36 sightings of blue whales during a 3-week survey earlier this year, identifying 55 animals. And they said they did the same survey in 2018, and they only had 1 such sighting within that time. So that's just a positive way of looking at things for the blue whales.
Right, yeah, the population of blue whales was believed to be less than 1%, and then now they found 36 sightings of blue whales, which a total of 55 animals, which means that like this survey alone, they found a lot more blue whales coming back. So that's good that part of the ecosystem, that ocean, which is very vast, is bringing back some of those really large animals to help kind of keep things in check.
Right. Next part of the article, we have the Notre Dame bees. Now, I didn't know anything about this, but there are 3 colonies of bees that survived a devastating fire in Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. So originally when the fire happened, it did a damage to the population. They did a recount in the 2013 between 2019 to kind of see where we were at, and they said that between 3 hives that there are 30 to 45,000 bees, and that they're saying this population is thriving. So very interesting and uplifting stuff to read from there. And then last part of this article talks about Colorado's wolves. So they want to return more wolves to the population. So there was experimentation with this back in the 90s in Yellowstone with wolves about restoring the ecosystem through various ways. Wolves, just from them being a mere presence, can help. So Colorado wants to do the same thing for their ecosystems. They want to reintroduce wolves, and that is something to keep an eye on this year for the state of Colorado. It's just for a small example of things that it helps with, because the wolves are in the area. That, of course, changes the grazing habits of the deer and the elk, and because that is happening, the fauna, like the flora, restores itself a lot easier because the elk aren't and the deer aren't eating in all the same locations, which means there's more food for the woodland critters on the ground. And then any carcasses the wolves leave behind can be eaten by vultures, bears, other creatures like coyotes, stuff like that. So good news from the animal front.
Right, and also those carcasses can, if they don't get fully consumed by other creatures, go back into the earth to sprout new life in terms of like food for other creatures. So
that's right.
In
general, life.
The wolves definitely help kind of like boost the ecosystem, which is crazy to just think that like in adding like wolves to like an area would help the ecosystem in a way.
And with just the little things, like we're always talking about, because we're gamers, so like the big thing you're always saying is like we're paying attention to the small details. Well, sometimes something like wolves is a small detail which can help things in ways we don't understand as regular people.
Right, like he was saying is we obviously are avid gamers, but like little details that developers add to their games actually go quite a long way to make the experience a way better. Like just little things. I can't think of anything on top of my head, but just little tiny things make it so much more better of an experience for gamers.
Mhm.
And I'll talk about the next one. We'll talk about the locked in syndrome one. Unless you want to leave that one for last.
No, go ahead, buddy. This is your show.
Right. Well, yeah. All right. So this one, ladies and gentlemen, is about for the first time in history, AI, like artificial intelligence, learns to translate silent human brain activity into text for locked-in syndrome patients. So what a locked-in syndrome patient is, they are completely aware what's going on. So they can see things, they know things, they basically like have the ability to comprehend what's going on, but their muscles around their eye or their mouth and their hands or whatever their body, they just physically can't show that they're aware. Like it's basically like kind of like a paralysis demon kind of thing. Like you have the ability to know what's going on, but you don't have the way to express that you know what's going on. So what they have done is created this artificial intelligence that detects human brain activity and translates it into English sentences. And they said it was the first time such a translation could be done on a 1-to-1 speed with natural human speech, which is faster than light. But that means that like as I'm talking, that's how fast this AI is recording these people's brainwaves.
So it's real time.
So it's real time, yeah. It's like real time, like 1-to-1, basically. Like as the brain scan's going, they're throwing out words for this thing. The breakthrough technology allows for work to begin in many different areas, but particularly in people with the locked-in syndrome, so they can communicate with the outside world. Another study last year was able to decode brain waves in people who were listening or hearing sounds. This new research is creating translations of one's thoughts while reading sound. So basically, one second, it says here, with vocabularies of up to 250 words and 50 different sentence groupings, the error rate was less than 3% for some of the translations. So that means that this AI is reading these brainwaves, and there's a 3% chance that some of the translations aren't coming across right. So that's really good. I mean, that's a really good, translate rate. But that also means that this is not only for people with locked-in syndrome, but it could be used for people who are a quote-unquote vegetables or in comas, like people who still have, well, I guess vegetables really don't brain activity, but it just depends. They might have some.
Well, maybe it'll help us discover
It
things.
might help it in that way. But like people who are in a coma who have brain activity, we can actually use this program to translate what they're saying or what's going on. So
might really help someday. Help with like families that have to make these decisions. Maybe we can finally leave it up to the person that's stuck in this immovable state of consciousness, where they don't want to put that burden on their family, where they can finally make a choice for themselves.
Right, like if they want to pull the plug themselves, kind of thing.
But their quality of life is what's most important. The quality of life going from someone in a coma or someone with this syndrome who can't communicate with people at all, back to being able to at least tell their mom and dad that they love them.
Right.
That's fucking really awesome. So good stuff.
Really heartfelt. It's awesome to be able to like express things now without you being able to before. It's like people who are blind or colorblind and they get these glasses that help them see the world, or like people who are deaf and now can hear things. It's the same kind of concept. These people that don't have a way to say anything or do anything with their body but yet still express it through this AI is just truly amazing.
I agree.
It's awesome. I'm hoping that technology gets better and better to the point where maybe we can even like listen to our dreams at some point. That'd be really interesting.
Maybe, yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
It's very cool. It's awesome that happened. Also, just real quick before we get to this last one here, all these articles, I'll have the websites in the description as well as some of the videos that Randy provided. One was about the just in general with the wolves, how they help the ecosystem, and then the other one is about this one here about Russia sending a cargo plane of medical supplies to the U.S. Randy, if you want to talk about this one.
Yep. So just like any other time when the world is in need of aid, whether it's Taiwan or Russia or China or South Korea. Anytime that there's a major disaster in a country, we provide aid to other countries. Well, just like any other countries, we don't always predict things accurately. We don't always have the numbers right. We weren't very well prepared for this pandemic with the coronavirus. So we were running out of masks, we're running out of aprons. And I think it didn't. I also don't think it had a lot to do with just us as the normal population hoarding them. I think this is just something we didn't prepare for. And so anyway, so we found out that we needed supplies, I guess, at the beginning of April. And so Russia and the U.S. are going to work together on them, and Russia is going to provide the U.S. with supplies in our time of need. So it's just really good to hear, as a humanitarian standpoint of human to human, that we are willing to help each other out, regardless of what our past issues are. We're looking at this, we're humans and we need to help each other, and regardless of what we believe or whether we hate people from Russia or their government or anything like that, or whether we like them, we should still at least praise the good things that are helping us out.
Right, and I did want to mention that it seems like it was maybe that we did buy the supplies from Russia, but it's just the pure fact that they're able to still give it to us. They could easily be like, no, we're not selling you this stuff, we need it. They've took the time out of their hands to supply the U.S. with medical supplies that we desperately need, which is masks and respirators and stuff like that, for those amazing few who are working to help people with COVID. It really is it's one of those times in the world right now where people need to appreciate each other. Like I know I've seen a lot of posts lately about people bashing on China because of this whole thing started in the first place, but we don't know the whole story. We don't. It could have been like some sort of accident from somewhere in China. It could have derivated from what I understand, someone says it derivated here in Florida or something. I don't know. No one knows the whole story. All I know is, when it comes to something like this, where it's a pandemic-like situation, the first thing we should do is take care of each other. Not strangle each other, not rip supplies from each other or kill each other. It should be trying to help the human race survive the situation.
I agree. We have to treat each other as we all want to be treated, as cheesy as that sounds. Right. So,
anything you want to mention, Rand, before it's over?
Yeah, I was just going to read a quick article. This is from the state government website, just about the supplies from Russia. So on April 1st, 2020, the United States is committed to the global fight against COVID-19. We are a generous and reliable contributor to the crisis response and humanitarian action across the world, but we cannot do it alone. The countries of the G20 agreed last week to work together to defeat the coronavirus, and we are working closely with these countries and others to ensure that the critically needed supplies get to those in need. So that's the beginning of the article. It's on the state government website, and pretty much what they are saying is they accepted aid from Russia on April 1st, and we got a plane of supplies. So it's just good stuff.
Right, and I know there's people out there who are saying that masks don't help or like that, but in the end they do. I mean, in some way the masks do help. With the default masks, there's possibility of the COVID still kind of getting in there somehow. But we're talking about respirators and stuff like that from Russia, which, from what I understand, respirators help get rid of that entirely. And so these people in the medical field who need these respirators, getting them will help so much more in keeping the disease in check, or the virus in check.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. I definitely love reading some. This is why I want to do this channel in the first place. Just kind of throw out some positivity in the world in such a bad situation. I wanted to do this before COVID was a thing, but I'm glad that it's helping us kind of share something in the way. I mean, it's still terrible, but still glad to help out in a way. Again, Randy, any final thoughts before we're done here?
No, it's just it's good to see that there's still some good in the world, and it doesn't all have to be bad, and we already have enough to worry about. So good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Randy, for joining me. My final words is do something kind for someone today. It doesn't have to be saying, like, it doesn't have to be like buying anything. It doesn't have to be anything. It can be something small, like helping somebody put their bags away or something like that. Like, obviously with COVID right now, everyone's got to kind of keep their distance, but just saying hi to somebody is a nice way to say something. Telling somebody they have a good day, like have a good day, is a good day. Tell your loved ones you love them. Just try and share some positivity in the world, because we all need it, and we should all try and work together. So thank you for joining us on Positivity for the Mind podcast, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.